Hey El Paso, water your garden.
Water your garden.
Water your garden.
Water your garden. Water your garden.
Riega tu jardín.
Water your garden.
Water your garden.
Water your garden.
El Paso, check out Dragon's Garden for all your bonsai needs. Water your garden.
Hey everybody, so it's about 20 after 10, August 9th, Friday night, and I just want to talk about these mini jades, Portulacaria afra, lilliputs, elephant bush, amongst a few other names that I just can't think of right now. So where should I start? I really want to get into propagation and cuttings and my little process of what I do when I collect them, how I deal with them, maintain them, etc., etc. One of my favorites, let me start by saying, one of my favorites to work with and deal with. They're so fun. They're really amazing. They're really easy. Um, and they grow pretty fast, so you can get a nice bonsai within a few years. If you're dedicated, of course. Got to be dedicated. As you can see, I do have a number of cuttings. Some of them are rooted, some of them are unrooted. One of the first things I do when I collect them, I let them callus up. Usually takes about a couple days. These ones been about a week and a half, give or take. You gotta let them callus up because they are succulents. So they could be prone to root rot and rotting as cuttings. But yeah, I let them callus up and I just stick them right in the soil. You can use water. I've done it in the water form before and I've gotten it to root. I didn't get the proper care to the cutting, so I did lose it. But I was happy that I got it to root. I will try it again in the future, and it will definitely be recorded and documented on here for everybody to see. Well, let's get into it. As you can see, we have some rooted cuttings as well. This one's just in some generic soil, plastic pot. This one's only a few months old, probably about 3 months, if I had to guess. This one right here is definitely one of my favorites. I've been working on this big boy for about a year now, give or take. So a rough guess right there. It was way bigger, but I pruned it down to this. When I first pruned it down to this, it was a lot more neat. I've gotten a lot of new growth, as you can see. I had it in some bonsai soil. No particular reason. Actually, I believe I heard or read somewhere that growing it in the bonsai soil helps makes grow the roots to be more fine opposed to some of those thicker roots that you may get sometimes. Not sure if that's true. It's just something that I've heard or read somewhere before. Also have this in a ceramic planter just because it is one of my favorites. So I wanted it to look a little bit nicer. Once I get it looking more like a tree, I will put it in a bonsai pot. I may go with a plastic one first as I'm still developing it and getting it to ramify. I really want to get more vigor on it. I don't know. This one has a lot of options, so I can do a few different things with it. Only time will tell. I like to say laziness is a bonsai enthusiast's worst enemy, and patience is a bonsai enthusiast's best friend. So I like to try to be patient. For example, this one, another big cutting, rooted, just in some basic generic soil, plastic pot, and I've merely been just keeping this one alive. Just growing it, watering it, letting it grow out. Don't know what to do with it, but the possibilities are endless. All you have to do is be creative. For instance, This one was very similar. It was diagonal. Both of these trunks were diagonal. And I put the wire, so I could see that, to create some movement. I also got it in bonsai soil and a bigger plastic pot because I do want this to be a bigger specimen. I've had this one for about a half a year, 6 months, 8 months, possibly. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with everything. I have a lot of projects, I have a lot of trees. But as you get to know me, you'll get to know them as well. Also, one of my favorites right here, just because of the time and attention I've been putting into it. Seeing the progress and the journey is always really exciting. Always, always fun to watch. And it's like a sense of accomplishment of something that you created. But for me, it gets a little deeper because I am kind of a nerd. I do believe in global warming and certain environmental issues that are going on, like the climate crisis. And I believe these guys really help, specifically these mini jades. There are studies that show from NASA that they're great carbon sponges. They like to take in some of that carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide and create oxygen with it. There's also a lot of medicinal uses. They come from South Africa, and they do have a lot of medicinal uses, as well as what's the word I'm looking for? Culinary uses. But let's get into it. I'll show you how I cut my soil, the pots I'm using. You can watch me pot some of these cuttings up and see the first few days of when they callus to going into a pot like this. Alrighty then. So before we really get started, I actually just wanted to get a closer look at some of these cuttings. Just how beautiful they are. And maybe you can see why, or maybe you can't blame me for why I'm so in love with them. I even got a bag right here. I work a lot with mini jades. So I always have cuttings. I have way more in my closet and outside on my balcony. Let's see. Look at that real quick. I even have these ones potted up. And even small cuttings like this, you could pinch that right there. Turn this into a little cutting. These are really, really easy to root. And that's why I love them, because of how easy they are to root. And from one tree, you can get so many projects. And just multiply your collection. This one right here. I originally had this cutting in a pot about this size right here. And then I moved it over to this bigger pot to help get more vigor and hopefully get a nicer bonsai faster. I don't know exactly what I'm doing with it right now, so I've just been pruning and letting the tree, the cutting, talk to me. Just kind of like a harmonious dance, you know? Trying to get in sync with it. And as time goes, I'll start seeing more of a design as it produces more for me to see. Same with this cutting right here. Just give it some time. Just be patient. Let it grow. Be healthy. Make sure you got a healthy cutting. And that's what I did with this one. Like I said, this one was about 6 months to 8 months. And for the longest time, it just stood straight, diagonal like this. And finally, I just threw some wire on it and pruned some of the longer shoots to get it more compact. And even now, probably within a week or so, I'll prune some of the lower growth on this to make the tree's energy focus more over here where I'm trying to develop the canopy. But only time will tell, because sometimes my mind changes. Here is a closer look. All right, y'all. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. It's time to get our hands dirty. So I'm just going to be showing you my process of what I do after my cuttings callus, my mini jade cuttings callus. Pretty simple. Let me start with everything we'll be working with. I have these smaller propagation cells, and I have these bigger propagation cells. Of course, the bigger ones will be for bigger cuttings, smaller ones for smaller cuttings. And for all the cuttings that stick out and speak to me the most, I'll be putting in these plastic grower pots. They're about 3 to 4 inches each. And of course, anything that goes in one of these will be getting a lot more of my time and attention, will be a lot more specialized in development. I don't know if I said that right, but you know what I mean. We'll be working with our house blend basic bonsai soil. Nothing too special about it. It's actually a lot of recycled material from the plants we get in. I try my best to keep as much of that soil from going to the landfill. That's why you see some of these fertilizer pellets. Probably not the best for the cuttings, but it hasn't done me no harm. It actually works. I got a whole lot of perlite and vermiculite in there. Peat moss, cocoa core. I don't know if I said that right neither, but you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of wood chips in there, wood bark, some sand, river stones, pumice. Sometimes we drop bonsai soil on the floor instead of mixing it back in with our stuff that hasn't got contaminated. We just mix it in with this. This is kind of just our standard house blend pre-bonsai mix. We use it for a lot of different things, mainly our cuttings. Sometimes we do put our cuttings straight into bonsai soil. I think I already mentioned that in the last clip. But most times we just use this. But before I do that, let me show you how I prep the soil. So you can see some of the leaves are falling off. It's all right. Wipe that on the floor, sweep it up after I'm done recording. I'll be using my Yoshikai. I don't know. I probably butchered that. It's my Japanese tool, handmade in Japan. I got this at the Bonsai Learning Center in my trip to North Carolina. I studied a day with Brian Mercer from over there. One of the greatest times of my life. Stainless steel. So to prep the soil, I'll be adding water. I like to get it a little moist because as you see when you add water to it, you get this little mess because it's so dry. And I don't want that to happen in those little cells or in the pots. I want the soil to be a little moist when I'm already working with it. Just mix it in there. I'll probably make a little mess, no worries. I'm very fortunate to have Mila as my wife. She's very understanding. Bigger materials like this, I try to take out. I don't want to have those in small containers. Uh-oh, mic fell. Add a little water in there. Please forgive me, everybody. So this is one of my first YouTube videos. I am new to this, as you could probably tell. So bear with me, because as time goes on, I promise I will get more comfortable in front of the camera and microphone. The quality of my videos will be a lot better, and I promise you, you'll come to love our trees. Because who doesn't love an amazing bonsai? And who doesn't want to learn about it? Especially out here in the desert, this El Paso desert. I'm here to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Here to show you what works for me. And I never want to be one of those people that it's just my way. If it doesn't work for me, it won't work for you. We're just going to show you what we learned along the way. We'll do our best to cite where we get our information from or where we learned it from. So now that we got this soil nice and moist and mixed, it's good to go in our cells and in the pots. We do that, so like I said, to not make that mess. And I don't know if y'all ever got peat moss or other soils before, but they come sealed and they're slightly moistened for that specific reason. Grab our first cell. Oh, slightly put a little too much water, but that's okay. I just won't have to water when I get the cuttings in. Take out. Okay, just get that as even as possible. So that part of the mess already, but that's all right. We're here to get our hands dirty. And, not too fat. And I'll also be using a chopstick. Do I have one? I don't have one on hand, so give me 1 second. Ready? Got our chopstick. Don't need that at the moment, but we have it there on standby. Oh, Lord. Get this back in here a little bit. And put some more dry soil to help absorb some of that water, since I did put way too much. That happens. I try to aim for perfection, but I'm far from a perfectionist. Definitely still make a lot of mistakes and learn as I go, especially with little details like this. But that's all right. It's all about having fun and just enjoying yourself. That's what I love most about this, is that I enjoy it. Even when I make little mistakes like that. Just keep moving forward. Trust the process. Nice and mixed and well. A lot of that excess water, and I think I just did it this time. Moisten, not too wet. Definitely not dry. Bigger cells now. There we go. Put that right there. Put that in the bowl. And back to the little bowl. Get a couple of these. Okay, just in case. I think I'll probably have enough store just for one more container. Oh, looks a little bit more just to kind of go a little higher. We'll get what I'm paying for. I think that's good. We'll just do two for now. And where should we start? Get these seven. They'll right over here. Yeah, something like this. Just pinch off these lower ones. I think that can go right here. So we get our chopstick right in the center. Make a little hole, get it kind of deep. Definitely for sturdiness. But also, some folks like to use heating mats or heating trays, and they'll just throw these propagation cells right on top of it. And that heat helps grow the roots. I don't know the exact science behind it, but some folks do that. Smaller one, smaller cell. And cuttings are really fun. Something about the cuttings, when you get them to root, it's like how I mentioned earlier, just a sense of accomplishment. The joy. It's a great feeling to do it. Nice thicker one. But with this, we could probably get some more cuttings. Let me grab one scissors real quick. These are just stainless steel tiny roots. I got these back in Austin, probably 2017, I believe. When I first started into bonsai, I was using just Dollar General and Dollar Tree secateurs, basic tools. I didn't have nothing fancy when I first started. So I'll cut these off. That's a nice tunnel right there. Get a nice tree from that. And this one too, just because it's so long. Keep that. And this one will add to a smaller cell. Say right inside. Yes, when we first get it started, you don't need a $250 starter set. You can use this basic garden tools. Whatever works. Whatever works. There's more than one way to the top of the mountain. This one, I think, a smaller cell as well. This one doesn't need much pruning. Just throw it in there. And since I didn't mention, since we just cut this, you see that's fresh. We wanted to get it to callus more like this. I don't know if y'all can see that. I hope you can. Fresh, callus. So we'll let that dry up. This one we'll put in a smaller cell. We don't need to do much pruning to that. I like the way it is. When I see it starts rooting, I'll probably prune some of these back. And just let it talk to me, let it grow, keep it healthy and alive. I'm just grabbing random cuttings, whatever I see. I do have thicker ones, we'll get to those. This one's a nice vertical one. Take off this lower stuff. Nice and deep in there. You know, with all these cuttings, I will definitely have future bonsai and future wood. Here's a nice thicker one. This is pretty tall. I'll probably put this one of these bigger cells right over here. Deep in there. Here's a thicker one as well. But this, we could probably get a few extra cuttings. We'll just let those callus over as well. Be straight. Trim this up. It's a nice thick cut. Cut this big one right there. And then this one right here. And I kept this one because it was a lot thinner, so it'll create that taper opposed to keeping that thicker branch. This will help create a contrast to the lower part down here. Get a soft trim like this, bam. Cut that lower one. And I'll just leave the rest to help the cutting get energy. And I actually put that one in this little pot right over here. Only because it is a lot thicker. So do it like that. Nice deep in there. Straighten that out. There we go. And once I start seeing it with new growth, prune it back in certain areas and just keep repeating the process until it starts finally looking like a tree. Have fresh cuttings right here. We're going to want to let those callus, remember. Fresh cuttings want to at least wait a couple days. Just let it callus over, dry it out a little bit, and then get those right into this moist soil. And since it's so wet, I won't even have to water when I'm finished. I'll just get these in position where I like them and go from there. Get one right here. trim this one up a little bit. I don't like that it's so long. Just like that. And we'll keep all our cuttings. All cuttings we keep for the most part. We like to give some out for free sometimes. This is a nice long one. When people make larger purchases, we'll give them out for free as a gift, especially because we just have so many. So why not? We like to try to keep people in the hobby. And now that we're starting the YouTube channel, that I have a good local resource to check out to see how we're doing. And hopefully it'll work for them as well. This is a moist one. We'll put this over here. We'll callus out. Let's see. Here's a really nice big one. Cut this right here at the lower end. Let that callus. Trim this up a little bit. Cut that right there. I don't know if y'all saw that. Trim right here. Trim right here. Trim right here. Trim right there. That's my cutting right there. This I'll put in the bigger tray. I was hoping the camera was catching all of this. Put that right in the middle. There. There you go. Now this is a little lower prune. Prune right there. Just prune this little part off right over there since it's dangling on the base. And that's all she wrote. And then we pop this up. This one is almost like a twin trunk. You could probably produce a twin trunk from that. We'll go ahead and put that right in the center cell. Facing there. Nice and deep. So it kind of has a nice little bend. As it gets older, probably create some more stuff with it, twists and turns. The possibilities are unlimited. You just have to be really, really creative. Keep an open mind and study. Study others. Never be ashamed to study others. Never be too cool for school. You know, learning is a good thing. Knowledge is power, but also knowing how to apply that knowledge as well. And there's a lot of great educators out there, especially when it comes to this amazing hobby of ours. So this one's filled up. I'll put this to the side. And now that I got it filled up, like I said, I won't have to water. Sometimes you'll have to water, but since I got the soil so moist, I'll just bypass on that. And I probably won't water for about at least a week. I'll let it dry out just because they're fresh cuttings. And even when they start growing roots, these are succulents, so they don't like it super wet. They are prone to root rot. Put them in my closet under the grow light, or I might put them on my balcony and let them get some direct sun after I see them rejuvenate. If I put them in my closet, I could put them right away. If I do my balcony, I have to slowly acclimate them to the sun. I want to find bigger ones for these cells. Maybe little bigger ones. That's okay. just use mine. Here's a thicker one right here. It's not as thick as these other ones, but it'll work. From the lower growth. I'll just leave it like that for right now. Nice vertical one. Has some nice movement already in there. There you go. See. Let me see what I'm looking at. Right here. This one right here. Put the lower stuff. And as far as this last pot, I don't see nothing that really sticks out to me that I would put in here. I guess I could just put a random one. Let's see if I can find it. Let's go with this. Throw that one in there. It's a little bit on the smaller side, but it'll have plenty of room to grow for a little bit. And a nice future bonsai. And that's it. I'll now put these, like I said, either under my grow light in my closet or on the balcony with sun. If I put them on my balcony, I'll slowly acclimate them to the sun. I'll wait until these leaves look a lot more healthy and rejuvenated. When I see that I'll know that I'll have roots, and I'll give it more and more sun, as well as fertilizer. I'll fertilize heavy, especially young cuttings. Young cuttings that I'm still developing, I use a higher nitrogen fertilizer to give it that energy to grow more. Hope y'all learned something and enjoyed this video. And feel free to reach out for us, or if you're interested in a bonsai, feel free to check out our website, www.dragonsgarden.net, and keep an eye out for more content. We really appreciate you watching, and please hit that like button. Thank you.